on that. He goes, you don't understand, I flipped it from on to off. And I said, well, why did it even turn off? And he said, the comment section on the Blake Lively interview.
Yes, you heard it right. A few days later, Seth addressed the missing comment section by saying a technician had spilled coffee on the keyboard. And that's why it was disabled. Are we crazy, Seth? Or should we laugh about it? Blake Lively is in a full-blown public meltdown after Seth Meyers exposed her dirty behavior live on TV.
Print them out, it's gonna be a book. And the book's called A Polite Discourse About the News of the Day.
And while it looked like Seth casually invited her for a post-scandal chit-chat, insiders say it was actually Blake who begged to be on the show to clean up her mess.
You could tell this whole thing is prearranged.
And he did address the Blake Lively interview. He basically made a joke about it.
And he said, the comment section on the Blake Lively interview.
She even personally requested the comments be turned off to dodge backlash. But Seth, in peak savage mode, broke confidentiality and spilled that little secret on air. On the surface, it looked like just another celebrity interview.
It's been a little over a week since Blake Lively went on Seth Meyers, and the backlash was humongous.
Seth Meyers, the polished late-night host known for calling out political nonsense and celebrity spin, had Blake Lively sitting across from him. But for anyone who had been following the months-long circus surrounding Blake and her lawsuit drama with Justin Baldoni, this appearance wasn't just unexpected. It was suspicious.
She was going on his show pretending like, oh, I'm here, I'm the victim, I'm talking for all victims, and, you know, it's been a rough year, and blah, blah, blah. She was sitting there in a princess dress, and everyone was like, why are you giving her a platform?
Because for the past year, Blake Lively's public image had been sinking. Then, out of nowhere, she lands a solo appearance on Seth's show. It can never be a casual red carpet interview.
So Seth Meyers apparently thinks it's really funny all the backlash that he received after having Blake Lively on his show.
People noticed something was off the moment the interview aired. Seth, who normally leans into awkward topics and uncomfortable truths, didn't bring up a single serious issue. No mention of the defamation claims, no talk about her involvement in the $400 million lawsuit, and not even a basic question about Justin Baldoni, the man at the center of all this.
I'm sure he put her on his show because he wanted views, as simple as that, and he wanted to be the first host who had Blake Lively on as a guest since this scandal started, unfolding.
It was like none of it existed. Instead, the conversation was carefully focused on silly anecdotes, parenting moments, and light jokes. And it wasn't subtle. The structure of the segment felt rehearsed. It didn't feel like an interview. It felt like a paid spot.
Okay, so Seth Meyers is trying to get away with this by blaming it on someone else, that they shut down the comment section.
And according to reports, that might not be far from the truth. Multiple insiders have now said Blake's team arranged the appearance, not NBC. The offer was pitched, not requested. Allegedly, her PR team reached out, orchestrated the terms, and made it happen on their conditions. She didn't go there to be questioned. She went there to perform, to reset the narrative on her own terms.
Yeah, so he didn't address the fact that there were controversies. He's just like making a joke about it. Same kind of way that Ryan Reynolds would do, I guess, and what he did at SNL, just like joking about it.
The timing wasn't random either. The backlash against her had been building for months. After Justin Baldoni's legal team brought forward serious claims and began subpoenaing evidence, everything about Blake's public image started to crack.
If these allegations, which are serious allegations of SH, why would people just keep making jokes about it?
She was accused of manipulating insiders, influencing casting decisions, and possibly helping launch smear campaigns. And instead of addressing any of that, she went straight to late-night TV to change the conversation. A soft reset. But the audience didn't respond the way she expected. Almost immediately, people flooded to the YouTube upload of the interview, only to find something strange.
He closed the comment section on that video, which only has about 255,000 views, which is pretty low.
Yes, the comment section was locked. And that's when things exploded. Viewers took to social media, calling it censorship, calling it a cover-up, and demanding answers. Seth Meyers, usually known for letting audiences speak freely, was suddenly shutting down the discussion on a highly controversial guest. It didn't take long for fans to connect the dots. Seth wasn't just being cautious, he was following instructions.
In comparison to how much people talked about that video, so people didn't actually go and watch it on his channel, I spoke a lot about the interview, and I also spoke about the backlash that he received.
And he didn't help himself by making a joke about it.
He came up with this long story on how one of his technicians on the show or something like that had an accident, spilled some coffee on the keyboard.
Everyone knew it wasn't a glitch. People had seen this kind of damage control before. But what really pushed things over the edge was what happened next.
Because since people couldn't comment on the actual video, everyone started commenting on other videos, and it exploded on all his social media platforms.
Seth released another video a few days later. This one focused on Donald Trump and stock market corruption. Nothing to do with Blake. But the moment that video went up, it was flooded with comments about her. Thousands of them. Comment after comment had nothing to say about Trump or politics. Instead, it was all about Blake Lively's interview. You shut us up there, so we're talking here. We're not done. You gave her a free pass and locked the door behind her.
I don't think this was a great idea.
By now, Seth couldn't keep the joke going. He quietly admitted on Twitter that he didn't have full control over the Blake interview, that the segment was heavily shaped by her team, that the comment section was closed for a reason, and that reason, whether he wanted to say it or not, was obvious. Blake Lively wanted the spotlight without the blowback.
It's not, she did that for the photo op outside, it feels like, more than for the interview inside.
And this was the moment people really started seeing through the PR act. Because while Blake had spent the last year claiming to be silenced, to be mistreated, to be targeted by powerful men, it turns out she had the power to dictate terms on one of the biggest talk shows on TV. Not only did she appear in the middle of her lawsuit scandal, she did it on her terms, with full control, while the audience was muted. The irony didn't go unnoticed.
And even Seth makes a joke about it.
Put his gin in.
Director put his gin in.
Do you have to go home and tell Ryan, like, I have bad news?
No, it was like, baby, I have something to tell you. We're going to talk about it here, and we're going to forget it ever happened.
Gotcha.
Okay? No.
It's Seth did the better joke, and then Blake was like, "I'm already no." The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just so admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
To make it worse, fans started comparing it to her previous statements. The speech she gave on Seth's show was all about being brave, using her voice, and helping other women speak up. But the actions behind the scenes told a very different story. Real survivors don't get to buy airtime. Real survivors don't get to script interviews. Real survivors don't get to shut down comment sections. But Blake did, and instead of bringing clarity or healing to the situation, she made it worse by trying to erase the conversation entirely.
You can tell this whole thing is prearranged. And then she can't wait. She sort of lets Seth know, okay, come on, let's get to it.
What Blake wanted was a clean slate. What she got was more chaos. And this time, it wasn't because of court filings or leaked emails. It was because people saw through her. All of it. The planned performance, the missing questions, the forced applause. It backfired. Blake Lively's carefully rehearsed appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers was supposed to be a turning point. A calculated image reset framed as vulnerability. Instead, it exposed a layered contradiction that critics like Shashi Flo and Andy Signor immediately dissected. The paradox of playing the silenced victim while holding the reins of the entire production.
You can't go outside. You're so bothered by it, you can't leave the house, or the kids are affected. It's all very, I'm getting such mixed messages from all this. And
the interview was promoted as raw and personal, but behind the cameras, sources now confirm that Blake's team had full oversight, from the topic list down to the segment timing. According to a tweet from producer Daniel Kraus, on March 29, 2025, the segment was pitched with firm boundaries, and no off-script questions were allowed.
From these appearances, they were telling me anything. You're not suffering any actual like work damages. working just fine for you. People are still asking for your autograph, showing up at premieres. You're just forcing it down our throat. We're seeing it everywhere. So hard to see what you're really suffering through.
During the broadcast, Blake shifted into emotional gear midway through the sit-down. She spoke about the pain of being silenced, her duty to speak for women and girls who can't, and called 2024 the most traumatizing year of her life. This isn't a gossip story anymore. People are actually being hurt. Survivors are losing funding. Real programs are collapsing. And all of it is getting drowned out by million-dollar PR firms and red carpet appearances. She added that multiple women who had relied on Wayfair's funding for legal aid and housing would now have to seek new resources that might not exist.
But I don't know what it means that they're actually already starting to ask them about the amount. I think it's probably that they want to do this so they can post this out in public to make people see that, oh, they were lying, they're not worth that much money.
Back inside the press circles, the chilling effect was spreading. On March 29th, entertainment journalist Megan Stone tweeted that she had been pulled off a Blake Lively-related assignment at Elle after legal concerns were raised. Her tweet was deleted within 6 hours. A backup screenshot was circulated by anonymous account @BlindBuzzLeaks, along with a DM Stone allegedly sent to a colleague saying, "They were scared of her team, not scared of the story, scared of the blowback."
I think at this point, his career is really tainted, to put it the least. And who knows, some people in the business is saying that he probably will have really difficulties ever getting a job again. He still doesn't have an agent.
By March 30th, both the Los Angeles Times and The Cut had suspended their planned features on Blake's latest film. Neither publication offered comment, but media watchdogs like Real Ethics posted side-by-side timelines showing how press interest dipped every time Blake's legal team issued a public statement or threat of litigation. The result? Fewer critical pieces, more silence, and a media ecosystem carefully manicured to favor Blake's side of the story, no matter who got left behind. Blake may be trying to rewrite the narrative, but the receipts and the silence are louder than any scripted interview. What do you think? Is the public finally done playing along?